Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Breaking down last night's 9-game NBA slate with you was a really crazy night in DFS. We saw some last-minute scratches, some guys that we had to adjust and make some pivots for, especially when it comes to the core four that we had on this evening. Kawhi Leonard was in there, and we had to quickly get him out and be very nimble in our roster construction just before lock. That is why it's so important for us to be in touch with any media source that we can use, whether it is Fantasy Labs NBA on Twitter, uh, the actual NBA.com, RotoWire, whatever we need to use in order to know exactly what's going to be happening just before lock. We're going to go with our regular formatting of the show. Tonight was a profitable night for me in the DFS Sweatshop. Pretty good night. Usually I like to lose the complete buy-in or to win big. I did not win big, but we did double up that buy-in. We were able to make some really, really smart moves right before lineups lock after we received certain news that was out there. Let's go ahead and jump into the core four. I'm going to give you, three of the guys that were in there. Of course, we had Kawhi Leonard, and I'll tell you what my pivots were and how I adjusted to the Kawhi Leonard news being taken out of the core four. We're going to start with Dennis Schroeder. He was a play that I really liked. Knew that we could attack the LA Clippers on the perimeter, specifically at the point guard position, without Chris Paul not being there. And he was only at 6.5% owned. Dennis Schroeder, 6.1K in salary. Went out and got you 38.5 DraftKings points. Really nice showing from him. The next play was a play that I kind of liked all day long. As soon as I saw the point total and the actual, the matchup for him on his side of the ball, I really thought that he was going to be a sneaky contrarian play, and that's why I went with Goran Dragic at 12.3% in ownership, 7.2K in salary, 32 DraftKings points was all we got from him. We needed more from Goran Dragic in order to really separate ourselves in those tournaments, but not a horrible showing, so I can't shake a stick at him too much. The last play we're talking about, aside from Kawhi Leonard, was the guy that I thought was going to be my hammer, my late night hammer. And this dude was not a late night hammer. He almost fucked up all of my lineups, but he scored just enough in the fourth quarter to where I was still profitable. And that is Gordon Hayward. 10.4% ownership was very, very low owned when you think about the magnitude of the 9-game slate. 7K in salary, which I thought was a really good price on him. He had 29 DraftKings points, kind of snowflaked out on me, but still a positive showing and a positive return on my investment on the evening. And we talked about Kawhi Leonard a few seconds ago. He with him just being pulled out right there at 9.4K on DraftKings, there was a few different ways that we could have went. Now, simultaneous to the news of Kawhi Leonard not playing, we saw that we weren't going to see Anthony Davis, and that automatically put a few of the Pelicans guys in play, namely and most notably Terrence Jones as well as Drew Holiday. So I was able in a lot of spots to pay all the way down from Kawhi Leonard to Clint Capella, who did 5x for us, pay up to Giannis Antetokounmpo, and still get Terrence Jones in my lineup. So that really is what proved to help my night and to help have a profitable night. So we didn't have a full core four for today, and that's what I did. Half of my lineups that I had Kawhi in, I pivoted to John Wall, who did not have a really good showing. The other half, which was the half that my single entry GPPs were in, I had Terrence Jones, paid up to Giannis Antetokounmpo, and still had and paid down to Clint Capella in order to do so from Kawhi Leonard. So pretty decent night for me. Really good showing from most of my lineups. Doubled up my buy-in, which is always a good thing. Now we've reached a point in the show where we're going to talk about and highlight the feature four players of the night. These are the four most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS Sweatshop on Twitter, in the DFS Sweatshop Facebook VIP group, as well as the YouTube VIP group that we pulled over and brought over to Facebook too. Let's go ahead and talk about the Who Dat scoring all the points over there player tonight. This is a guy who a lot of us talked about in the Sweatshop. He was a really hot topic all day long. Didn't kind of know what to do with him, whether we are going to roster him or going to pay all the way down. because we knew that shooting guard on this slate was a virtual wasteland. And I'm talking about Dion Waiters, 11% ownership, 5.7K, went out and scored 48.75 DraftKings points and hit the game-winning three. Awesome game we saw from Dion Waiters. Syracuse guy, should have been up on him a lot more, but that's why we stick so close in our Facebook groups, and that's where the real shit goes down. Like, it goes down in the Facebook group. So if you want to be a part of DFS Sweatshop, that is something that comes along with that. You will be given access into the Facebook VIP, and you can definitely chop it up with some of the best DFS minds in the game right now. The next play we're going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight? Now, I said this on the show. I said, look, whoever is starting against the Atlanta perimeter, more specifically at the point guard position, when it comes to the LA Clippers, that is who we want to target. And tonight, man, how did I fucking miss the coach's son, man? Austin Rivers, 16% ownership, 5.9K, 41.5 DraftKings points, and excellent showing from him. And that's why you tonight are the how did I miss that play of the night. Next guy I want to talk about is the heat check play of the night. And this guy came at just a moment's notice, man. If you were not right there at lock, you would have never gotten a hold to the heat check play tonight. This is a guy. Once we found out we weren't going to see uh, Anthony Davis, I had a choice between him and Terrence Jones, and I leaned more towards Terrence Jones because I knew that Holiday's usage was going to take a bump. I knew it was going to go up. But I figured, man, and we talked about him on the show anyway with going against Kyrie defense. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to roll with Terrence Jones. I don't want to get too many pieces of this game, which proved to be why I didn't really eclipse the Clash line the way I really wanted to. I didn't have him anywhere, but he had an excellent game out. And that's why you, Drew Holiday, are tonight's heat check player tonight. Salute to you. Went out at 3% ownership. A lot of people weren't on him. Most of us went to Terrence Jones. He had 7.1K in salary, had 67.5 DraftKings points, an excellent game we saw from Drew Holiday. And now we've reached a point in the show where we have to talk about that one motherfucker. This is one of the softest Charmin tissue, cottonelle. I'm thinking of soft shit right now. This baby shit. Dude, yeah, he played like baby shit. Some of the softest motherfucking shit I've ever seen in my life comes from this guy night in and night out. This is probably the softest player in today's NBA, and that's why you tonight are a motherfucking snowflake, Brook Lopez, with your snowflake ass. How the fuck do you go out? Kawhi being snatched off of the court. You now being probably the best player on the court with Kawhi out. You're probably the best player on the court. You go out, 12% ownership, 6.5K. So not only were you in position from a percentage standpoint to separate us, you were at a good price point. And you go out and you bring us back 20.5 DraftKings points. You fucking robbed us. You stole that from us. And tonight, because of that, with your soft snowflake ass, you a motherfucking snowflake. And I ain't gonna roster your ass again tonight. Until I catch you in one of them matchups against your brother. You know you like to beat up on your brother. Well, how about you beat up on a motherfucking second string center from the San Antonio Spurs with your snowflake ass? You a motherfucking snowflake, Brook Lopez, and I ain't gonna roster your ass again. Let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now, we've reached a point in the show where I like to go over my best DraftKings lineup. And I'm gonna show you how this is a core 4 roster. I'm gonna show you that because a lot of times we lose sight of what sets us apart here in the DFS sweatshop, and it's not the fact that I issue out a core 4 and I tell you, hey, play my core 4, you're gonna win a bunch of money. No, it's the fact that we have a complete roster building strategy, and if you want to know exactly what that is, hit up the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That's where you will see the complete tutorial on how we build our 8-man roster. I'm gonna do a little foreshadowing. You're gonna see some of it here. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is my best DraftKings lineup on the night. And I stayed around 275 to 280, stayed in that range. And as you can see right here, this is a lineup that I really liked a lot. I had it a few times in the quarter games where I made it in the 30K and one right here. Also had it in the 5K jump shot single entry. That's a $5 buy-in, I believe. the 4K daily dollar. That was a $1 buy-in. Single entry is what I play in here, and also the high five. I know the high five. That's a $5, a $3, and a $1. So I invested about $8 in single entries with this actual lineup. Also some quarter games and the and one. This is a lineup that I really liked. I did not even play in the 4 point play tonight, just because people have 150 lineups and they go crazy in those and they hit every value. I like to stick to the single entry DPPs, and I make lineups in the actual quarter games. That's where I can do my sharking at. I can enter max entries in the quarter games easy. But this is where I do most of my damage in those single entries. And let's go ahead and jump into this lineup so I can show you exactly what we had going on here. Now you're gonna see this is a core four lineup, because you see I've got Dennis Schroeder here, I've got Gordon Hayward, I've got Goran Dragic, who was also in the core four. And what's missing is, of course, who's missing is right here in this spot, I had Kawhi Leonard. So when the Kawhi Leonard news breaks, I pivot all the way down from the center that I had in the spot. I grab Clint Capella. I pay up at this point because I believe I had maybe Reggie Jackson right here. I pay up all the way to Giannis Antetokounmpo to get that high upside guy that's also in a decent matchup. And then I have enough to go ahead and roster Terrence Jones in this spot. So this lineup brought back 286.5 DraftKings points. It was good to cash in every area that it was in, and that's why I had a profitable night tonight. Did not hit the 300 club as some of you did tonight, but a very profitable night for me. Anytime I can double up on my buy-in, that is a good night. I will take it. That is more money for me to play for the rest of the week. So right now, as the week goes, you can check me off for a profitable Monday. We're gonna roll into Tuesday's 6-game slate. So now let's go ahead and jump into a very quick recap of last night's slate. And the reason why we do this is because we've got to know what guys are doing. We've got to know where we're coming from if we want to know exactly where we're going to go in this NBA DFS thing. And it didn't feel weird tonight that there was no Monday Night Football. It kind of hit me that, like, football is over. Damn. All we got left is the Super Bowl. No more football. That's why we're going full force into basketball, and we will be rolling into baseball when it does come around. But we're going to start our recap in Charlotte, where my homie Kemba was at home against the Washington Wizards. I did not have a great feeling about Kemba. I had him in one of 6 lines tonight. Did not really perform that well. But we're going to start on the Wizards side. They went in and they beat my Charlotte Hornets by 10 points. I love the Charlotte Hornets. I'm a Knicks fan, but they're the closest team to me, so I do go out and watch them play some. We're going to start with Otto Porter, man. 14 and 13 to go with 2 assists. Pretty good game from him in 34 minutes. He shot 6 of 11 from the field, and this dude has been shooting very well from the field lately. 54%. You cannot shake a stick at that. Markieff Morris, he was second on the team in scoring. In 40 minutes, he actually led the team in minutes. He had 40 minutes, 23 points, 8 boards, 2 assists. Really good game from him. Marcin Gortat did not have a great game. 8 and 7 to go with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block in his 28 minutes. Brad Beal, who we kind of thought we weren't going to see him in the game. He was downgraded to questionable, but then we found out that he was going to play later on. I'm glad I did not take a chance on him. He had 18 and 5 to go with 4 assists and 1 steal in his 31 minutes. And John Wall gave us blue balls tonight. I mean, he jumped off 19 points in the first quarter. I mean, we were like, yeah, this is a John Wall night. But he quickly tailed off. 24 points, 4 boards, and 7 assists to go with 1 steal. Not a great game there at all from John Wall. Didn't see much off of the Washington Wizards bench. On the Charlotte Hornets side, though, saw a really nice game from Marvin Williams. In his 28 minutes, he had 13 and 8 to go with 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block, while shooting 41% from the field and only hit 1 of 6 3-point shots. Could have seen a much better game from him, but we're not gonna take that for granted. That was a really good game we saw from him. Not a good game we saw from pretty much anybody else on the team. I mean, Cody Zeller in his 35 minutes had 13 and 9 to go 2 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. So that was very decent, but not a great game from Kemba Walker at home. 35 minutes for him. He had 21 points, 2 boards, and 5 assists to go with a block. Probably the best value play that we saw from this game was Marco Bellinelli. In 28 minutes, he had 18 and 3 to go with 2 assists and 1 steal. Not much else we saw from the Charlotte Hornets bench. Probably the shittiest play on this game was the MKG kind of sucked it up. In 26 minutes, he had 8.7 boards and 1 assist. Not a great game there from him at all. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets at home against the San Antonio Spurs. Another guy that gave us blue balls, man. It was the snowflake of the night with his old soft ass motherfucker. Ugh. 21 minutes for him. Why did he only play 21 minutes? He had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal to go with a block. Shitty game from Brook Lopez. Bojan Bogdanovic turned in another stinker, 5 and 3 to go with 2 assists. Not a great game there. The only guy that we really saw have a decent game was Sean Kilpatrick. He had 17 points, 10 boards, and 1 assist in his 30 minutes. Isaiah Whitehead did have 19 points to go with a rebound and 3 assists, but we didn't see much else from anybody on the Brooklyn Nets side. Trevor Booker, he only played 19 minutes. He had 9 points and 4 boards. Like, why the fuck is Trevor Booker only playing 19 minutes against a Kawhi Leonard-less San Antonio Spurs team? And he still got blown out. On the San Antonio side, a pretty good game we saw from LaMarcus Aldridge, 16 and 9 to go with 5 assists and 2 steals and 2 blocks while shooting 42% from the field. Nice game we saw from Patty Mills in his 20 minutes. He had 20 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists. Good game there. David Lee, 15 and 7 to go with 2 assists and 1 steal. Jonathan Simmons jumped off of the bench in 19 minutes, had 11 and 4 to go with 2 assists. And Bertans had 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Not much else to speak about on the San Antonio side. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Atlanta Hawks at home against the LA Clippers. This was a pretty decent game up until deep into the fourth quarter. It was very close. We saw a really nice game from Austin Rivers, the coach's son. Went ahead and led the team in minutes, 41 to be exact. He had 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists while shooting 10 for 21 from the field. That's 47%, and he hit 5 of 10 from behind the arc. A really nice shooting performance there from Austin Rivers. Luke Mbah-a-Moute got into the action in 29 minutes, had a really solid game, 12 and 7 with 1 assist, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. Very good defensive game we saw from Luke Mbah-a-Moute. DeAndre Jordan underwhelmed in his 34 minutes. He had 7 points and 12 boards to go with 4 assists and 3 blocks. Not a great game there. JJ Redick, 17 and 3 to go with 3 assists and 1 steal. Raymond Felton turned in a decent performance, but not what we were expecting without Chris Paul on the floor. He had 14 and 5 rebounds to go with 3 assists. Pretty good game there. And Jamal Crawford finally snapped out of his shooting slump. He had 19 points to go with 2 assists and 2 rebounds and 4 assists. Pretty good game we saw for him at that price point. Wesley Johnson chipped in 9 and 8 to go with 2 assists and 1 steal in his 18 minutes on the Atlanta Hawks side. Pretty good game we saw from Dwight Howard, man. He doubled in 35 minutes, had 16 and 12 to go with 3 assists and 2 steals. Did not block a shot. Come on, Dwight Howard. We need you to block some shots, baby. We need it. Dennis Schroeder, he had 34 minutes and scored 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Pretty good game there from him. Paul Millsap had 19 and 8 rebounds to go with 7 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Really nice game from Paul Millsap. And Thabo Sefolosha, 11 and 3 to go with 2 assists. Not a great game from him, but the price point was down, so that was a pretty decent showing. A guy that's dead to me kind of rose up from the dead in this game. Kent Bazemore, he played 32 minutes and had 25 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 42% from the field, 9 for 21, and also hit 3 of 9 3-pointers. Pretty decent game from a guy that's dead. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Miami Heat at home against the Golden State Warriors. Who would have predicted this game to end the way it did, man? We saw a really nice game from a lot of the Miami players. We're going to start on the Golden State side, where we saw Kevin Durant for 36 minutes. He had 27 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and 1 steal. Not worth rostering in this one. Steph Curry damn near had a triple-double, played 36 minutes, had 21 points, 10 boards, and 8 assists to go with a block. Pretty decent game from him, but he only shot 36% from the field. If we had a regular shooting performance from Steph Curry, it was a lights-out play. Klay Thompson, in his 37 minutes, slept out of his slump. He had 22 and 5 with 1 assist, 2 steals, and 1 block while shooting 44% from the field and 3 for 8 from behind the arc. Pretty good game there. Jaja, in 26 minutes, has 6 and 9 to go with 2 assists and 2 steals. Pretty decent game there at his price point. And Draymond Green, his second straight snowflake, 38 minutes. He led the team in minutes. Was on the floor longer than everybody else, but he only had 7 points, 3 boards, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Not a great game there at all on the Miami side. So a really nice game from the homie Dion Waiters, man. He dropped 33 on him and also had 5 rebounds with 4 assists and 1 steal. Good game there, shooting 65% from the field and 6 for 8 from 3-point, including the game-winning 3-point shot. Luke Babbitt, man, he stole some rebounds from Hassan Whiteside. He had 11 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal. If you rostered him at that price point, he definitely returned value for you. Hassan Whiteside, not a great game there. 35 minutes for him. He had 10 and 15 to go with 2 steals and 1 block. And we saw, not a horrible game from Goran Dragic, but not at all what we thought we were going to see, man. He only shot 35% from the field, going 5 for 14, hit 1 of 5 3-pointers. That's not good. He finished with 19 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, and 1 steal. The next game we're going to talk about, the Detroit Pistons at home against the Sacramento Kings. This is a game, that I had a feeling that I should have went a little heavier in this game, and I kind of liked it just from the outset. I thought that we were going to see a really decent game from some Detroit players, but we're going to get into that. DeMarcus Cousins, 22 and 14 to go with 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Pretty good game from him. He shot 38% from the field. That's not good. A big guy, a big man, we need you around 55%, closer to 60% in order to really return that value night in and night out. Darren Collison, in his 25 minutes, had 12 and 4 to go with 3 assists and 1 steal. But Ty Lawson was the actually a really good play in this game. In 22 minutes, he had 19 and 3 to go with 6 assists, 1 steal, and somebody was going to benefit from Rudy Gay taking that injury, man, and it's got to be Ty Lawson at this point. I mean, we're seeing him get consistent starters minutes in relation to who they're starting as far as Darren Collison. Aaron Aflalo, 6 and 2 to go with 2 assists, and he's somebody who was in a lot of models that I was looking at earlier. I just could not bite the bullet and roster him with any sort of confidence, so I didn't have any of him. On the Detroit side, KCP came right back and acted like he never left, man. 14 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. Really nice game from him. Even after shooting 4 for 14, which is 28% from the field, we still saw a nice game. He took 8 3-point shots and only hit 1. If he has a better shooting performance, KCP balls out. Marcus Morris, in his 37 minutes, which led the team, only had 13 and 3. There was 1 assist. Not a great game there. John Lure, who I was much higher on, he did get the start and only played 27 minutes coming back off of that injury. He had 15 and 4 to go with 4 assists. Pretty good game there. Didn't see much from Tobias Harris. 15 and 3 to go with 1 assist. And Andre Drummond, he did double-double, but it was a small one. 14 and 12 to go with 1 assist and 3 steals. Not a great game we saw from Andre Drummond. The next game we're going to talk about, the Milwaukee Bucks at home against the Houston Rockets. Now, I thought this game was going to be a lot more entertaining than it was. The point totals hit just about over where I thought they were going to hit, but I thought I would have seen a much better game on the Houston side. We're going to start there. James Harden, 26, 9, and 12. Damn near had a triple-double to go with 4 steals and 1 block while shooting 60% from the field. And it's funny because James Harden only took 10 shots in this game. That's crazy. A guy that can shoot the ball the way James Harden did, only taking 10 shots in this game is a fucking travesty. And it's horrible. Because it's not like he played 20 minutes. He played 39 minutes. He only took 10 shots. Horrible. 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 Patrick Beverley, in his 33, had 18 points to go with 3 assists and 1 steal. We saw a nice game from Trevor Ariza. He didn't do one thing particularly great. He just did a lot of stuff good. 8 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 4 steals, 1 block. Pretty good game there. He only shot 28% from the field, going 2 of 7, and we need a better performance from him shooting the ball to really, really make a dent in those tournaments. Nene, in his 21 minutes, had 17 and 7 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. And a guy that I was particularly high on all day long was Clint Capella. Once I figured out that he was going to, well, I didn't figure it out, but once I learned that he was going to get the start, I was all over Clint Capella. He had 16 and 3 with 1 assist. We really thought we would see a much better rebounding game from him, but that just was not the case tonight. Eric Gordon, stinker off the bench, 27 minutes for him. He had 9 points and 2 boards to go with 3 assists. Not a great game there. Ryan Anderson, in his first game back from injury, had 16 points with 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal, shooting 54% from the field and 3 for 7 from behind the arc on the Milwaukee Bucks side. Didn't see a great game from Giannis. He had 31 points, real life points, so that's good. But he only had 7 boards and 3 assists, no steals, and 4 blocks. We needed more from him in those peripheral areas in order to really, get a return on that value. Now, he did make 5x, but, when you can get 6x at a guy for a guy that's 10K, you're really doing something there. He hit 7 of 8 free throws and 2 for 3 from behind the arc while shooting 64% from the field, and he did win the game. But Jabari Parker was actually the best player in this game. 39 minutes for him. He had 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals to go with 1 block. Now, after that shit that he got involved in, where he was saying some things that shouldn't have been said outside of the locker room, he really just came back to work, put his head down, got back into the starting rotation. You know how good he is at home, and he just balled out. So that was a pretty good game we saw from him. Saw a really nice game from Matthew Dellavedova, 16 and 3 to go 7 assists for him. Greg Monroe doubled off of the bench, and this guy is so fucking hard to gauge in this Jason Kidd offense because some games you look back a game ago when he gets 18 minutes, and now he plays 27 minutes, and he's dropped 17 points and 10 rebounds with 1 assist and 3 steals. Had a really nice game. It's so hard to predict what we're gonna get from these teams coached by Jason Kidd, and it baffles me. It baffles me. Next game I'm going to talk about is the New Orleans Pelicans at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, we got Golden State got beat and Cleveland got beat, both by really bad teams. Go figure. Crazy. LeBron James, 43 minutes from him. Now, if you would have told me that I would have get 43 minutes from LeBron James, 37 minutes from Kevin Love, 40 minutes from Kyrie, I'm stacking the shit out of those guys. But we don't think we're going to get that against the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't understand, the game flow that happened with this one. But LeBron James had 26 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, a triple-double for LeBron, 2 steals, really nice game from him. Shot 52% from the field and 1 for 4 from behind the arc. Kevin Love doubled in his 37 minutes, had 22 and 16 to go with 6 assists. Really great game there. Kyrie Irving, we talked about him, had an awesome game out, dropped almost 50 points, man. He had 49 points, 2 assists and 4 steals. Two rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals to go with a block. Excellent game from Kyrie Irving, especially at that price point he was at. That was a nice one there for him. So not much else from anybody off of the team. You could have just started the big three and just fucking balled out. New Orleans Pelicans side, pretty good game we saw from Terrence Jones, man. 35 minutes for him. He had 36 and 11 with 1 assist and 2 steals. So a nice game from Drew Holiday. 33 and 6 to go with 10 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Good game there. Donatas Montejunas had 14 and 4 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. And Langston Galloway came off of the bench and played 30 minutes. He had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal in his time on the floor. Next game I want to talk about my New York Knicks going to Indiana to take on the Indiana Pacers. And we beat them, finally, got a W. Pretty good game we saw from Carmelo Anthony. He had 26 and 5 to go with 2 assists and a block while shooting 52% from the field. Kristaps, man, he shit the bed in 24 minutes. I didn't have him anywhere, and I'm glad I didn't. He had 8 points and 4 rebounds with 1 steal and 1 block. Not a great game there at all for him. Derrick Rose turned in a nice one. In 40 minutes he played, he did lead the team in minutes. He had 20 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists while shooting 43% from the field. Made all 6 of his free throws. Did not hit a three-pointer, but that was a really good game there we saw from him. Justin Holiday, in his 31 minutes, had 13 and 3 to go with 3 steals. Pretty decent game for him at that price point. Not much else to talk about. Except Courtney Lee. Nice play from Courtney Lee. He played 25 minutes and had 14 and 4 with 1 assist and 1 steal while shooting 42% from the field. We also, off of the bench, saw a nice double-double from William Hernan Gomez. 14 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Really decent showing from him off of the bench. On the Indiana side, Paul George, man, he kind of came out, had a nice one. 31 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, shot 45% from the field. He took 10 three-pointers and only hit 3. If he has a better three-point shooting game, we see a much better game from Paul George. But this was a nice one. This is what you were looking for if you had jumped on Paul George being 7.5K and 7K on FanDuel. This is the game that you were looking for. Miles Turner had a decent one, 22 and 10 to go with 2 blocks. We saw a nice game from C.J. Miles, 10 and 3 to go with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. Al Jefferson, in his time off of the bench, had 13 and 3 to go with a block at minimum salary, so that was good. Not much else we have to talk about on the Indiana side of the ball. The last game on last night's slate was probably it did just exactly what the point total said it was going to be. It said it was going to be a slow-paced, low-scoring game, and that's exactly what it was. But we saw some horrible shooting from both sides of the ball. We're going to start on the Oklahoma City side. Andre Roberson, 8 points, 11 boards, 2 assists. Nice game from him. Triple-double again from Russell Westbrook. 38, 10, and 10 with 4 steals and 1 block. Pretty good game there. He only shot 37% from the field, and that was kind of you know, a hard pill to swallow from Russell Westbrook. And the one shot I needed the motherfucker to miss, he hit the shot to put them up by 2, so the game didn't go to overtime. So I didn't get more Gordon Hayward. Go figure. Enes Kanter off of the bench had 14 and 5. Not a great game from him. We did see Steven Adams for 37 minutes. He had 9 and 6 to go with 1 assist. And I think he had 4 blocks too. I think next time we can roster him out. This was just him getting back into the groove. I think we can roster him out on the next time. Not too much else we saw from the Oklahoma City side. We did see 18 points in 30 minutes from Vic Oladipo. He also had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Pretty decent game from him. On the Utah side, Derek Favors double-doubled. 4.9K. We got to watch him. He double-doubled in his 26 minutes, had 10 points, 10 boards, and 2 steals while shooting 41% from the field, which should have been better. Not a great game we saw from Gordon Hayward at all. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. And dude was on the court for 35 minutes. And we needed to see more to justify that 7K salary there. George Hill, stinker, 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists to go with a steal and a block. Not a good game there. Alec Burks, in his 24 minutes, had 13 and 2 to go with 2 assists. Not much to speak about on the Utah side. Now that we have recapped last night's games, let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing for tomorrow's 6-game slate. Now, y'all know how I'm rocking on a 6-game slate. This can go one of 2 ways. If we see a point total that is super juicy and we really like it, we can definitely start our stack strategy. Now, I most certainly stack when it comes to 5 games or less, but 6 games do have that stack potential to it. And the fact that this is a short slate, and I'm gonna call it a 6-game slate, a short slate. We've got 6 games that start at 7, and we've also got a late game that start at 9 o'clock. So there's gonna be no turbo for tomorrow, just a 6 and a 2. Now I wouldn't, make a lineup in the late and then throw it in this one unless I really am comfortable with my stack option in here. That's gonna have to be a straight up stack. So we're gonna pry that open. That 6-game slate for tomorrow. And let's get a good look at who we have as far as our player pool here. All of them. And I think for a 6-game slate, just looking at this right quick, it looks pretty juicy. Just jump it out looking at it right now. All right, so we've got the highest salaried guy on the slate. It's going to be Karl Anthony Towns. Ignore the 7th ranked DVP. They just played him. He fucking did him. He torched him. And I think we can definitely look at him tomorrow. John Wall at 9.4 at home against the Boston Celtics is in play for me. He didn't see hella minutes last night against the Charlotte Hornets. Let's check him to see exactly what the minutes were. I believe he played around 30, but no, actually he played 37 minutes last night. He must not have played hard for 37 minutes because he didn't have a great game. But we can look to John Wall tomorrow, definitely. Isaiah Thomas is in a really great spot at 9.3. I like him. Kawhi Leonard will probably play tomorrow because he did sit that game out, 9.2. I love Jimmy Butler at 9K. That's an awesome play there. We can look again to Eric Bledsoe at 8.9. Kyle Lowry is in play for me at 8.8. Nikola Jokic, yes, against Utah. Now, I'm not going to be on him as heavily as some other people are, just because, Utah plays such a slow pace that I don't think that I can have so much Nikola Jokic, but I will not completely fade. DeAndre Jordan against the Philadelphia 76ers is definitely in play for me. Joel Embiid, he probably will play tomorrow. If he does, I don't like him. The price is down from that 8.5K to 8K, but I'm still not playing a guy with a 28 minutes limit. I'm just not going to do it. DeMar DeRozan will probably be out tomorrow. That's why we like Kyle Lowry so much, because we know the points have to come from somewhere. Blake Griffin is probably going to be questionable tomorrow. He may not play. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow, but he is going to be questionable tomorrow. Rudy Gobert is in a prime spot at 7.3 against the Denver Nuggets. That's a really good spot for him. Gordon Hayward for the bounce back at 7.2. The price went up 200. I still like him. Andrew Wiggins, love him at 7K against the Phoenix Suns. George Hill is not in play for me at 6.9. He's just not playing very well lately. He's just not, and I'm not going to roster him until I actually see a really improved performance from him. Devin Booker is in play at 6.9 for me. Al Horford, yes, at 6.8 all day long. Dwayne Wade at 6.8 is in play for me against Orlando. Brad Beal. Now at this point, we're talking about stacking because we got Wall, Beal, and we wanna attack Boston rebounding the basketball. So we're going Wall, Beal, Markieff Morris is in play. You know, tomorrow I'm going to issue a core of plays, but it's definitely going to be a slate that we can stack on. Nikolai Vucevic at 6.6 is really interesting to me, but the funny thing is, the Chicago Bulls are probably the best rebounding team in the game right now, so I'm going to have some exposure to those guys too. Rick Rubio, he was grieving the loss of his grandmother. Shout out to Ricky Rubio and his grandma. He may come back and play tomorrow. We're not sure yet. Zach LaVine is in play for me at 6.5. He had a horrible game out against him last time. I don't think that happens again. Markieff Morris, yes. Rebounding the ball against the Boston Celtics, yes. Alfred Payton, 6.4. Ignore that DVP because they're not a really good perimeter defense team. Chicago Bulls are really not. I mean, they're starting Michael Carter Williams at the point guard. Alfred Payton can definitely have a good game against him. Otto Porter, he's probably the only guy that would probably be on the outside looking in for me if I was going to stack the Washington Wizards, just because Jay Crowder is a pretty good defender, and I don't want to go into a tough matchup if I don't have to. When I'm talking about stacking the Washington Wizards, if I can go around them with Brad Beal, with Markieff Morris, with John Wall, even Gortat, I think that's going to be a solid play tomorrow. Serge Ibaka is in play at 6.1. Avery Bradley will probably be out tomorrow. Let's check and make sure we know about that. Ersan Ilyasova is not a play I'm interested in tomorrow. Jonas Valanciunas, yes, at 6K. I like him. Will Barton is a no for me. Austin Rivers is a no for me. David Lee is somebody that we can look to if we know he's gonna be getting the start. We can definitely look to him tomorrow. Marcus Smart is a very interesting play. Somebody I think I like at 5.8 if we don't see Avery Bradley tomorrow. Martin Gortat is 5.8. We attack Boston rebounding the basketball. The last time we did this, it did not work out well. I think Martin Gortat has a very good game tomorrow. I'm going to be on him tomorrow. Aaron Gordon at 5.7 is in play for me. Tyson Chandler, yes, at 5.7, he's in play. Wilson Chandler is a no for me, and this is a game that I'm not going to have too much invested in. I do like Jay Crowder at 5.6. Raymond Felton is in play at 5.6 for me. Bob Cove is a no for me. TJ McConnell, yes, at 5.5. I like him. Danilo Gallinari, he's in play because he's 5.4K. This is a very cheap play here. And going up against Gordon Hayward, who's not one of the league's better defenders, I think we can definitely look to Danilo Gallinari tomorrow. Evan Fournier is questionable. He may play tomorrow. We got to check up on that. If he does play, I do like him at 5.3. If we know he's going to see a full allotment of minutes. Chilo Okafor is a no for me. Gorgie Jang, yes, at 5.2. JJ Redick, no for me. Derek Favors is in play at 5K for me tomorrow. Taj Gibson is automatically in play. I like him tomorrow. He's one of the better rebounders in the league. I do like him. We know Paul Gasol is out. Joe Ingles probably was going to get the start. If he does, I do like him at 4.9. Chris Dunn. If we don't see Ricky Rubio, he's probably going to be the chalkiest play on the board. We're talking about Chris Dunn at 4.9K. Kenneth Faried, no. Gary Harris, if he does play, I still don't like him. Kelly Olynyk is a play that I'm going to have interest in tomorrow at 4.6. TJ Warren is a no for me. Emmanuel Mudiay probably won't play tomorrow. Robin Lopez, yes, he's in play at 4.5. That is a cheap way to get a piece of that Chicago rebounding total. DeJounte Murray at 4.5. He is in play for me tomorrow. I'm going to give him another shot. I mean, he shit the bed tonight, but I'm going to give him another shot tomorrow. DeMar Carroll is a no for me. Rodney Hood is a no, of course, because he's going to be out. And we got to make sure Tony Parker is not going to be playing. If Tony Parker plays, I kind of like him. If he doesn't, I like Murray. Jamal Crawford is not in play for me tomorrow. Miritic is a no for me. Jody Meeks probably not going to play. Maurice Spates at 4.3. He's a very interesting play because this game could get out of hand, especially if we don't see Joel Embiid, which I think we will. Nerlens Noel is in play at 4.3. I kind of like him. Michael Carter Williams. We can give him a look at 4.2. The price is so cheap on him. He has to do very little in order to make that 6x value. So I think we can look at him tomorrow. Bismack Biyombo is in play definitely at 4.2K. Dario Saric, somebody who I'm not going to have interest in tomorrow. Patty Mills, yes. Terrence Ross, yes. PJ Tucker is a yes for me at 4.1. Jameer Nelson, no for me. Amir Johnson is in play. The price is 4K on him. He's definitely in play. Bebe Noguera, yes at 4K. I like him. Jamal Murray is a no for me. Corey Joseph is a no for me. Shelvin Mack, no. Sergio Rodriguez, we got to look and see what the minutes distribution is going to look like for Philadelphia. I may like him. CJ Watson, he got the start last time out. Don't think that happens again. 3.7, no. Dougie McBuckets is dead to me at 3.7. I'm not going to have any of him. Rajon at 3.6. That's very cheap. That's very cheap. That's very cheap. But this is also a really good perimeter defense, especially against the point guard position. But Rajon Rondo is very cheap tomorrow. We got to look at that. Jeff Green, 3.6. He's in play as a cheap pump play. Shabazz Muhammad is in play at 3.6 as a pump play at that small forward / shooting guard position. DJ Augustine may not play tomorrow. Danny Green, yes, at 3.5. I like him. Dwayne Dedman, we didn't see too much of Dwayne Dedman last night. So I don't think that we're going to see too much of him tomorrow as well, because we're probably going to have, Kawhi come back. Yeah, he played 28 minutes, Dedman, and he had 10 and 8 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. Pretty good game there. But I'm not sure we're going to see a lot of him tomorrow against the Toronto Raptors. I think, this game's going to be, it can be fairly close. Jerry Grant at 3.4, not a great play for me. Sauce, no. Tyus Jones, no for me. Alex Lynn is in play at 3.4K. I kind of like him tomorrow. He's going to be a really nice punt option, I think, at the center position. Alex Lynn, I like him. Kelly Oubre, Hernan Gomez, Hazonia, Knight. So, not a lot to love on this slate. And the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking this is a stack slate where we jump into the highest point totals and we roster from there. So, now that we have jumped into the player pricing and we've taken a good look at all of the guys we like, have X some guys off, I hope, and we have that pool of players in our head, let's go ahead and jump into the point totals. It is only a 6-game slate tomorrow. So if you are not completely comfortable jumping all the way in with your 10% buy-in, play 5%, bro. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a very long season. We're not even halfway through it. There's plenty more money to win, and we're going to make sure that you stay around to do that. So let's go ahead and take a sip of the strong drink. And jump into the point total for them. We're going to start, and none of these point totals are like, oh my God, so big. None of them are so big. We're going to start with one of the lower point totals on the slate. This is the Orlando Magic at home against the Chicago Bulls. Now, there's a 206 point total in this game, with the Chicago Bulls being the road favorite. They're giving up 2.5 points to the Orlando Magic. Automatically, Jimmy Butler, come on. Jimmy Butler's in play tomorrow. He's definitely in play tomorrow. Dwayne Wade in play tomorrow. I like Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade. Don't know too much what I would like to do at the point guard position for the Chicago side. I mean, you look at Michael Carter Williams. He had a bad couple of games out the last time. It doesn't take much for him to hit that value, but we've got to find a more solid point guard plays, especially looking at the way this team is built. And yeah, Michael Carter Williams is the point guard, but the primary ball handler on this team, depending on which one is on the floor, is either going to be Dwayne Wade or it's going to be Jimmy Butler. So that's probably where my focus will go in this game. I like the bigs on the Chicago side as well as the Orlando side, but most notably, I like Taj Gibson and I like Robin Lopez as cheaper center / power forward plays. I think they can be really, really good and return that value for us tomorrow. On the Orlando side, you got to look at Elfrid Payton. If he does get the start, I like him tomorrow. Evan Fournier might be back tomorrow. If he is back, I may have him in one lineup. I don't want to throw too much weight on a guy that just came back off an injury. I do like Bismack Biyombo for his depressed price point coming off of that big game he had last time. And I think we can look to Nikolai Vucevic. Even though Chicago is one of the better teams rebounding the basketball, I think what Vucevic brings to the table as far as his scoring ability can be enough to push us over the top. So I kind of like this game. The point total is fairly low, so it's probably not going to be everybody's favorite game on the slate, but I think there's some solid plays in this game. The next game I'm going to talk about is a 201.5 point total. And this is the LA Clippers giving up 3 points to the Philadelphia 76ers. I think we're going to see Joel Embiid in this game. And if he does play, I know a lot of you are going to like him. I'm just not. I'm not paying 8K for somebody who has a minutes restriction. I can't do it. I'm just not. And that kind of takes some of the opposing guys off of the table for me. when you talk about, you know, DeAndre Jordan, who just didn't have a really great game. They're coming off a back to back. That's kind of weird. I don't think I want to take too many shots at old Joel Embiid, one of the better young defenders in the league. So I'm gonna pretty much steer clear of that LA Clipper front court. But I would like, and I said I didn't like Austin Rivers, but the Philadelphia 76ers perimeter defense is not that good, and Felton's getting a start at point guard. They got the coach's son playing the three. You can take a look at those guys. You definitely can. I mean, the point total is just so low. This is the lowest point total on the slate. I don't think I'm going to have too much invested in this, especially since I'm going to be running a couple of stacks from the point totals that I really like. So this is not a game that I'm going to have a whole lot invested in at all. It's really not. Robert Covington, somebody you can look at. Dario Saric as well. You can look at Ersan Ilyasova, but I'm not going to have too much invested in this game. And if I did roster anybody, it would be T.J. McConnell, knowing that he would be the primary ball handler against a subpar LA Clipper perimeter defense without Chris Paul. That's the direction that I would go on the Philadelphia side. The next game we're going to talk about is the Toronto Raptors at home against the San Antonio Spurs. This is a modest point total. 207 is that point total. The San Antonio Spurs are giving up 3 points to the Toronto Raptors. Now, we know we're not going to see DeMar DeRozan tomorrow. So if we don't fire up Lowry, the points got to come from somewhere. I like Kyle Lowry. I also think we can go to Jonas Valanciunas in this game. I'm not going to be fucking with DeMar Carroll, especially uh, if we see Kawhi Leonard make his return to the court. That's going to totally delete. DeMar Carroll tomorrow. If Kawhi does play tomorrow, I like him. Fire him up. I like him tomorrow. This game is going to be. It says the point total says this game is going to be pretty competitive. So I do like Kawhi Leonard tomorrow. I think we can look to. If we don't see Tony Parker, we can look to the Murray kid again. We can give him another shot there. LaMarcus Aldridge will probably be a decent play. We can also look to David Lee. So this makes San Antonio a stackable offense tomorrow. It does. It makes San Antonio a stackable offense. We know some value is going to pop up, whether it be Corey Joseph, that's going to see an extra run of minutes, whether Norman Powell gets to start for Toronto or Terrence Ross gets to start for Toronto. Those are plays that we can definitely look into with this game, uh, having that injury concern when we don't see DeMar DeRozan. The next game we're going to talk about is everyone's favorite game on the slate. It is the Boston Celtics going to Washington to take on the Washington Wizards in the nation's capital. Highest point total on the slate, 219 points. Everybody's going to be on this game. Stack the shit out of it, bro. Just stack the game. Just stack this game. You know what? It's not too often I tell you who to play. I tell you who I'm playing, but I'm going to go out on a limb tomorrow. I'm going to just stack this fucking game. Get as many Boston guys, as many Washington guys as you can get into your lineups. Everybody's not out. Just fucking play Marcus Smart. Get IT2 in there. Get some John Wall. Maybe Bradley Beal. You want to attack Boston rebounding. You want to grab Markieff Morris. You want to grab Gortat. Just play those guys. Just stack the shit out of this game. It's a 1 point spread in favor of the Boston Celtics. They are giving up 1 point to the Washington Wizards. 219 is the point total. Get your IT2 on tomorrow. Get your John Wall on tomorrow. That's just what I want you to do. Stack this game. Please do it. If you really like money, you're gonna stack this game. The next game we're gonna talk about: Denver Nuggets at home in a 212 point total with the Utah Jazz. The Denver Nuggets are actually a favorite in this game. They're giving up a point and a half, probably because they're at home. I like a few plays from this game. I think without Emmanuel Mudiay, if Emmanuel Mudiay doesn't play, that puts Jameer Nelson back in play. If you don't see Emmanuel Mudiay, Jameer Nelson is back in play. I like Danilo Gallinari. We can look at Jokic, of course, but you want to temper your expectations with that high salary on Jokic because he's going up against one of the league's best front court defenders in Rudy Gobert, which makes me kind of like Rudy Gobert more than I like Jokic tomorrow. Mark that down. I like Rudy Gobert more than I like Jokic tomorrow. That's just where I'm at with that. Wilson Chandler's in play for me as well. I like Wilson Chandler. I think we can look at Derek Favors in this game. I think we can look at Gordon Hayward again in this game. The only guy that I really don't like on the Utah side, it's going to be George Hill. He's just not playing well. It doesn't seem like himself. Maybe he's still hobbled with an injury of some sort. But this is going to be a really good game. It's a 1.5 point spread. 212 is a point total, so I think we can see some really nice scoring in this game. The last game on the slate, and it's also a 9 o'clock start, so it's kind of a late night hammer situation. The last game on the slate is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves going to Phoenix to take on the Suns. This is a replay. We just saw this game the other day, and I think uh, a lot of things that happened in last time they played are gonna happen again this time. Like Cat going ham. That dude has no defense for Karl Anthony Towns. None of the bigs from Phoenix can defend Towns, and he's gonna have a field. He's gonna have a really great game. I like him tomorrow. Also, the same thing when it comes to Bledsoe. You gotta like Bledsoe tomorrow. Going up against maybe Chris Dunn or Rick Rubio if Rubio is back from grieving his grandmother's death. You still gotta like Bledsoe tomorrow. I like Bledsoe tomorrow. I even like Brandon Knight coming off of the bench in this game. I think there's gonna be a lot of good stuff. These are two young up and coming teams. I won't be fucking with T.J. Warren. I won't be fucking with Marcus Chris. Uh, so P.J. Tucker will be in play for me off of the Phoenix Suns bench as well. As we talked about Bledsoe, we talked about who I like as far as the center options. We can look at Tyson Chandler as well as Alex Lynn in this game. On the Minnesota side, I like Karl Anthony Towns. Shabazz Muhammad is going to be in play off of the bench. You got to pick who you like between Wiggins and Levine, and I like Wiggins more than I like Levine, so I won't be having too much Levine tomorrow. I have mostly Wiggins when I'm going to be attacking the small forward or the wing positions against the Phoenix Suns. Dunn, if he starts, he's going to be in place and be very chalky. I may fade. I'm going to look at that later on. So we got some really, really juicy games tomorrow, man. Some really nice stuff here. And this has been your DFS Jerusalem. I want to remind you, if you want more than just my core four plays, if you want to understand the complete 8-man or 9-man, if you play FanDuel, roster building strategy, go to www.dfssweatshop.com, register, link up, become part of the family. That is the best way that you're going to be able to learn exactly how we do things here. If you want to support the show more than you already are, because you are supporting the show by giving me your views, your likes, your comments, thank you so much. You can definitely click that box over there that says support the show and let it take you where it needs to take you. You can copy some DFS Sweatshop swag. You can do that. Follow the link that's going to be either in this video or the video under this video. Check that out. You can also hit my personal PayPal at simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. Thank you so much for everything you've been doing for us here in the DFS Sweatshop. We are growing in strength and numbers, and it is all your fault. And the number one thing I want you to do while you're in the sweatshop is keep it 300.